Welcome back to another episode of Rated T&T, the show where we talk about TV, movies, music, fandom, fanfic, and literally everything in between. I'm Tim. That's Tay. Thank you so much for being here. And today, I can't even describe how fucking excited we are to have this conversation. Okay. Today, we are joined by an internet and really all around icon, really multi-talented entertainer Kalen Allen, who first captured the internet's attention with his hilarious and heartfelt reaction videos before catching the eye of one Ellen DeGeneres, of which he quickly became a fan favorite on that show, and rightfully so. Since then, Kalen has expanded into acting, hosting, producing, with standout appearances in projects like An American Pickle and Meet Me Next Christmas. Whether Kalen is on screen, online, on stage, he brings a unique voice that blends comedy, culture, and authenticity. And so we are so excited to have you with us today, Kalen. Welcome to
Did you
Real
mention
TV.
Broadway?
I said on stage.
But that don't mean that doesn't mean that people understood that as Broadway.
He is
You
on
got
Broadway.
okay.
If you weren't aware, he is
Listen,
on Broadway.
listen here. Listen, I spent one day with Jennifer Lewis at her house, and after that, I was a changed man.
Fair.
I
feel like that
I
would change
sit
anybody.
there and I said, this woman knows exactly who the fuck she is.
Yeah,
And she lives in it, and she don't let anybody not give her the credit. And I said, I want to be more like that. You
absolutely.
know, I said because especially living in an industry that, especially for me being black and queer, I watch them give the white people that do barely anything, give them a lot of credit. Give them a lot of
Yeah.
get them a pedestal to live on. I said, I done worked my ass off. No, we gonna make sure the credits is to the goddamn team. Okay. I'm
Absolutely.
like, yeah, stage is cute, but let's be clear, baby. I was doing
Broadway
8 shows a
superstar.
week. Yeah.
Broadway superstar, 8 shows a
Yeah.
week. Kalen Allen.
Yeah. There you go, baby. I know that's
Thank you for
right.
being here. And if you couldn't tell, this is already going to be a fun time. So
Oh,
we
yes.
are going to jump right in. Caleb, for anyone who somehow does not know you or has not discovered you yet, how would you introduce yourself?
You know, I think recently I've gone through many titles, and usually when people put a name up, it's always got 50 million. Like I've had 50 million jobs, but I think what I have really boiled it down to now is just purely being an entertainer. And the reason why I say that is because regardless of the medium that it's coming from, my only goal is always to entertain the people. And so I think whether that is on digital or if that is on stage or if that is on screen, that I hope that at the end of the day, that is the common denominator. So I just say, think of me as a comedic entertainer.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
Actually,
And as a longtime fan, I can say you do that very well.
Well, thank you. I'm glad
Very
to hear
well.
that. That's always the goal.
Hmm. You I first discovered you through Kalen Reacts.
Mhm.
And that went viral and sort of changed everything for you kind of overnight.
Mhm.
What do you remember about that moment? And did it feel as big as it was from the outside?
It felt enormous. It felt it literally felt like a Disney movie. It literally felt like I was fucking Cinderella. And all of a sudden, the fairy godmother came and waved a wand, and all of a sudden, everything was different. Like that's literally what it felt like. And I remember, I remember it feeling like a whirlwind. Um, I can remember, I can remember it so vividly. It's almost like it's playing back in my mind like a movie.
Mm,
Like I remember getting the email. I remember my reaction to it. I remember going out in the hallway in the middle of class to call the producer at Ellen back. I remember that night getting on a Skype call and pitching myself and listening to them. I remember then being on the bus to New York and I getting a call from them saying, we want to fly you out to LA to be on the show. Can you tell us your information? What day can you be out here? And this is what we want to talk about. And during the pre-interview, while I'm sitting on the bus that I paid $10 for to get up to New York City, and the bus to drop me off in Hudson Yards. I remember Hudson Yards at that time hadn't even been finished, so there was no train station at Hudson Yards. I remember what it looked like in the construction, and I can go back there now and tell you exactly where I was standing. Like, it was that like the magnitude of that was so massive. That's what it felt. But I don't think I realized how massive it was on the outside until recently. Until people would come up to me, and the fact that they talk about the fact that when I had started, TikTok didn't exist, and how that whole world, like, people hadn't, like, the people were going viral, but going viral didn't mean a career yet.
Right.
And them saying I was one of the first people to do that. One of the first people to get that viral moment and go on traditional television at that time, but use the digital space to amplify it and to create a career about it. And I think that's very different. And I think I just recently came to that awareness.
You were in college, right? When all
Correct.
of this happened.
Yeah.
What was that like? Like, how did you find a balance between, like, oh, this really massive thing is happening for me, but I'm also a student?
Well, the problem is as a student, I was a boss already.
Okay.
You
Period.
know what I mean? Like, I was at Temple running that shit. Like, I remember I was the head of marketing for, at that time, my best friend was running for the president, for Temple Student Government. And I was the head of marketing. I ran that whole fucking campaign. Like, that's just the way that I worked. Like, I was in multiple leadership positions on campus. I was everywhere. I did everything. I was even head of marketing for Temple Theater Side Stage Season, which was our theater department's, like, student ran theater company. And I was creating the branding, and I was creating what it looked like. So I was always a part of this whole marketing and branding kind of thing. And that's not me saying it in a way that is just like talking myself up. You can ask anyone that knows me or knew me from that time, and they will tell you that it was no surprise when it all happened, but the way that I did it, because that's the way that I've always moved. You know what I mean? So I didn't see it. I didn't necessarily care about, like, the fame of it. I saw it as, no, this is what I always wanted to do. This was always the goal. So why would I be surprised that this is now my world when this is exactly what I've always knew that I was capable of being and doing? And this is what I wanted to do. This is what that's what I'm in school for. So when the moment came, I was like, all right, well, let's do this. And let's do it right. And let's do it the way that I want to. And I'm not getting off this train, you know?
Yeah. Definition of stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Absolutely. And I would, even the experience of while being at the show, I say, was like a Hannah Montana kind of thing, because I would go to work at Ellen during the day, and then I would go to class at night because I was finishing them degrees, because I said, I don't know if this shit gonna last forever. And
Right.
y'all ain't about to kick me to the curb and my ass can't get a goddamn job. Hell no. So I'm gonna finish these degrees, get these degrees, just in case y'all try to play me for a fool.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you also got to realize is that my approach to this business is not fueled by ego or pride. I don't give a damn about the fame of it. I really don't care about the celebrity of it. I don't need to be seen everywhere I go. I don't need to be on everybody's red carpet. Like, people have to beg me to walk a red carpet now. Like, I don't like it. I get there and they be like, you want to walk a red? I prefer not. Just take me inside. I came here to see the movie. Y'all do not, I'm not in this movie. You do not give a shit about me walking this carpet. And I'm just walking this carpet so that I can post it and say that I did it. I've been doing this shit for 10 years now at this point. It's not a surprise that I'm at this premiere. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. I just like doing the damn work.
I think because I also was put onto you from Kalen Reacts. One thing that I always got from your videos was the authenticity. Like, you and, like, your personality shown through every time. So I'm kind of curious, was that always intentional for you to just want to, because, we encountered some influencers or entertainers that put on a certain persona or a different version of themselves, but you it comes across as like you all the time. Was that intentional in your work? Was that something important that you wanted to showcase, or did it just kind of happen?
I think yes. And I think that's because I have always considered entertainment. The thing about it that people don't understand is my approach to entertainment. It's the reason why I do it. Like I said, it's not about the fame. It's because I genuinely love entertainment. I love what it does for people. I love that entertainment is medicine. I always say that people think of entertainment as something that is like an extracurricular. And I'm like, do you realize that after a doctor has spent their entire day treating patients and taking care of people and feeling drained, that when they go home, they turn on their favorite show. Or when they get in the car, they turn on their favorite song. Art is healing. Art is escapism. Art is therapeutic. And that has always been my goal. And I knew that I could only do that right if all my content and all my work was rooted in me being a human. You know what I mean? Because I think I am human first. It's like I want to have a point of view that you can share with me at the same time. And I think when it comes to my career, I always said I didn't want people to relate to me based off of the car I drove or the house I lived in or anything like that. But instead, I want you to relate to the dreamer in me. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It's like I want you to look at the fact that I was a little black queer boy from Kansas that had a dream at one point and he made it happen, and that you can be from wherever you're from and believe that that's possible for you too, that you too can accomplish the impossible. I said that's one of the greatest things that I look forward to when I become a father. I said, do you know the gift that I've been given, that I will be able to bring a child into this world and that child can come to me and say that they want to be anything, and because I've done it, I will be able to say, then let's make it happen. Like the gift that is so pure. And it's the greatest gift and I've even been approaching that with my friends. Like right now, I am building a consulting and coaching firm
Mm.
because I looked at my career and I looked like at what I was able to build in the way that I was doing it, but I realized it was because it was all me. That it was me at the helm of it. And I realized that my mind worked differently than other people in the way that I saw it. And I was always a brand architect and I was always thinking of the 360. That I was like, I can be that to other people. I can give people my mind and help them see bigger than what they can see in front of them. And I can help them get to the next level and I can help them figure out how to upgrade themselves and how to position themselves and how to set them up for success. You know what I mean? And the selfish part of that is because I was tired of being the only one goddamn rich and successful. I was like, shit, I'm tired of having to do every goddamn thing myself. So we got to get you bitches successful. We got to get y'all up here and thriving too. So I don't have to go by myself. I said, please, I want you to win. Win, please. You get what I'm saying?
Fair.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Somebody get with me. I feel that.
Yes, I'm like, hell, and I think also I was watching like Tabitha Brown and Kev on stage. Of course, they're older, you know what I mean? So their
Yeah.
mindsets are different. I'm like, damn, they going on group trips to fucking Cabo
Oh,
and shit. I'm like, hell, I want to do that too, and I don't want to have to pay for everybody every goddamn time. I want you to have your own damn money so I can keep my damn money so I can do what I want to do, which is serve the people.
Yeah.
You know?
no,
Yeah.
I could be saying that group trips, and I'd be like, I want to do that with my friends. I don't want to foot the bill either, though. So,
No.
and,
Which is it was cute for a while. Like I used to be that person. I'd be like, yeah, I'll pay for it. Come on, everybody. But a lot of them motherfuckers I don't even talk to no more.
Yeah.
I said, well, damn. I guess the trip to Disney World wasn't good enough to maintain the friendship. Shit. I'm like, damn, I got a VIP guide. They walking us on the rides and shit. Like, you ain't never, like, come on. And you can't call me to see how I'm doing? No. Fuck that.
I'm sure they regret it now.
you know,
I don't think they do. And the reason why, and I don't need them to regret it. And the reason why I say that is because what I have learned is that life is like a big old puzzle,
Mm.
right? And when you look at a puzzle, right, you put your pieces together and you just keep putting more pieces and adding more pieces, right? And you never even look back to the pieces that you already placed. But that does not mean that they weren't essential into making the bigger picture. That just means that they
Yeah.
served their purpose for the moment that they were there. You learned the lesson that you were supposed to learn, and now you've moved on and you've added other pieces. And those other pieces aren't better than the pieces that came before, but they are just where you are now. So, no, I don't think that they regret it at all. I think that we served our purpose in each other's lives for what we were meant to be. And now we've all just moved on in our own puzzle.
Mm.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. Mm.
I love it.
I would imagine that it hasn't always been easy doing
Mhm,
what you're doing, especially having done it for about 10 years.
mhm.
Were there moments either earlier on or even now, recently, where you feel like people underestimate you,
Oh, people do all the
or
time.
try to put you in a box? Like, how do you navigate that?
I don't I don't do the work based off somebody else's validation. I base it off of my resume. I base it off of the calls that I'm getting incoming. You know what I mean? Like it's very hard for you to make me feel like I don't know who I am when I know that I got a call to host a rally for Michelle Obama in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And it's very hard for me to would it regardless of what you think or if you basing it off of numbers or popularity, it's hard for me to accept that when I know that, when Wicked was on promo, I got a call from the director of marketing and was asked to come in to shoot the video with Cynthia because I was close, like I knew Cynthia already, and Cynthia was the one, like she felt the most comfortable with me. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard for you to try to make me, yes, you may underestimate me and you may, not appreciate what I do or the care that I bring to it, but that is not a reflection of my worth and what I know my worth to be. Because the proof is in the pudding. I have the
Mm.
receipts to back it up. You know what I mean? And I got 3 degrees in it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not out here just willy nilly waiting for you to be like, "Oh, do you think I'm good enough now?" No, I don't need you to fucking tell me that. It's already written as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's just the bottom line of it, and I know that I'm good at what I do. And I know that I've put in the work to be that good, And so I don't base my worth off of somebody else's approval or validation. I just say, well, hey, that's what you think. Okay, well then get somebody else to do it, and you're gonna see that they can't do it like I can.
Mm.
And that's just the truth.
Okay, that's it. That's all. You brought up Cynthia.
Yeah.
Love her, by the way. Wicked was
Uh-huh.
great. Saw it a couple times, more than a
Uh-huh.
few. You have interviewed and interacted with like a lot of incredible people
Yeah.
throughout your career. Who has surprised you the most and why?
Ooh. I don't know if one surprised me, but I think probably the one that I probably hold the dearest to me is actually 2 people.
Right.
I would probably say, well, maybe actually 3 people. I do include Ellen in that. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what happened at the show,
Mhm.
I still respect her highly. And I especially when it comes to, like, the legacy and, like, what the show meant to people and what it is. And yes, I'm a person that always believes in nuance. It's like I can acknowledge, how somebody feels about a person or their experience with her, but still acknowledge the good that was there. You know what I mean? I recently had a conversation with Raven Simone about this
Mm.
because we had a conversation about like when we are in a place of like at what point do you separate the artist from whatever the grievance is or whatever. I
Right.
said I think it depends on what the accusation is. I think it depends on the severity of that. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't never gonna hear me try to defend R. Kelly. Like, that's not gonna fucking happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I just watched that shit that Usher said about Diddy. I said, what a dumbass response. I was like, what a stupid ass response. Like, you're not gonna get that from me. You know what I mean? Like, especially when there is video proof of Diddy pulling Cassie down that hall. Like, what do you? No, fuck him. I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the way that I see it. If that makes sense. So, yeah. Did I answer the question?
Partially. You said
Okay.
that
Oh,
you
yeah, you
said that
said
there
it
was
right.
3. Yeah, you said there was 3
Okay.
people. You gave
Thank
Ellen.
you. Yeah, thank you. See, I always get back to it, but sometimes I just need you to hold my hand to get there. So, okay, so we got Ellen. Oh, Oprah. And the
Okay.
reason why I loved Oprah twice is because the first time I ever met Oprah, she hadn't been briefed on that I was there. They just took me and put her in front of her, and she exactly knew who I was. And Oprah she is really good at making people feel seen,
Mm.
even if she doesn't see you. Oh, that's the word. And let me tell you why. So I was at the Cowboy Carter tour, and it was after the show, and I was standing in the back. It was in the last show in Vegas, and Oprah was there, right? Now, of course, I've met Oprah many times. She knows exactly who I am. We have had a relationship. She didn't invite me to go see her do tapings and everything. I'm standing in the area, but it's so dark, she can't see anything. And so she's walking out, and the bodyguard is escorting her. And I said something along the lines of, "Hey, lady." Oh, and I just held my hand out. And all she did, she didn't even, like, she couldn't see me. All she did was reach her hand out and grab my hand. And that was just so that she could make whoever said that feel like she saw that. And I said, "Oh, that's powerful." I said, "There's a lesson in that. There's a lesson in that." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the type of person that doesn't like when fans come up to me or people want to reach. I'm like, please do. Because that's the only time that I get to know that I'm doing something that means something or that matters. You know what I mean? And I also think that entertainment is for the people. So I must acknowledge the people. Now, the third person, third person would probably be Beyonce.
Mhm.
And
And
my
really, we don't
experience,
even need the explanation. That's enough.
well,
That's enough for
well,
real. But we would
well,
love
yeah.
to hear it.
But yes, but it's like my experience with Beyonce was so similar to my experience with Oprah, to where our greeting wasn't a celebrity and a fan greeting. It was something different. It felt more human. You know, like I remember I was doing the Wearable Art Gala. I was hosting the red carpet for Miss Tina. And I remember the whole story is kind of crazy. It was me and Zach Campbell, right? And so we're on the carpet. They made the carpet clear out, right? But Yvette is not making Zach and I leave. I still to this day say that I think that Parkwood can control the weather because y'all know it don't ever rain in LA. All of a sudden it starts to fucking rain in LA. She ain't got there yet. The whole carpet clears. And I'm like, Zach, I'm not standing out here in this rain. Because we trying to stand around and wait for Beyonce to arrive, right? And nobody told us we had to leave. So we thinking, okay, well, we good. So we go inside. And I remember she still hadn't arrived, and me and Zach was talking, and then all of a sudden, y'all, this is the thing that people don't understand about that woman. That woman is like the celebrity of celebrities. You have no idea how that room, it was like the sea had parted. And all you saw was this goddess floating through the entire space as if a spotlight was on her. Like, that woman carries a lot of energy. And she went to the front, and Zach came to me. I said, "Let's go." And we beeline straight to her. And this is how I knew we were in. Julius is standing there. We get to Julius. I say, "Hi, Julius." First of all, that's a fine man.
Come on.
So first of all, I'm telling myself, stay focused. Remember the prize. Remember the prize. Cause I wanted to sit there and be like, I want to say, "Julius, when you taking care of everybody else, who's taking care of you?" You know, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. But I said, "Kalen, yeah, we're on a mission here. We're on a mission.
Right. We
We
must
gotta
stay
we
focused.
gotta stay focused." So so he says, "Hi, guys." And he lets us keep going towards her. And I said, that's how I knew we were in.
Yeah.
That's how I knew we were in beyond
he don't
just this
play.
moment.
He don't
I
play.
was like, oh, she knows us.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, this is different. Because he's letting us approach her. And I remember we got up there, and I think Zach said something to her first, and she turned around. And when she saw both of us, she said, "Oh, hi. And then she talked to us so like, and you've seen Beyonce interact with fans. You
Mhm.
see the way that she talks to people, you know, like there is a bit of like a PR performance kind
Yeah.
of way, right? And it was not that. It was so grounded and human and normal. And my ass is sitting there speechless.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there
Yeah.
just smiling like this the whole time, barely can speak. And I remember she hugged us twice. She gave us a kiss on the cheek twice. And then my dumb ass, being a good student, left so I could make it to class because at that time I was still at NYU. And Zach got a
Oh,
picture with her, and I did.
oh. And I'd be mad to this
Oh,
day.
I'd be
To this
sick.
day, I'd be mad.
It's okay because my moment gonna come,
It
And
is.
it
and,
is.
and when it comes, it's gonna be exactly what it's supposed to be.
Come on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm not mad that the moment didn't happen because I know that in my story there will be a reunion. And that reunion will be better than what it would have been then.
Yeah.
I am also a very different person than I was then.
Okay.
Yeah.
This version, I would rather her meet
Yeah.
than
Delayed.
that version.
Delayed but not denied. It's coming.
Yeah,
Come on.
It's
all
coming.
right. Won't he do it when he won't?
It is
Glory.
coming.
My God, today.
Words have been dropped this entire episode, and I love that.
Right.
Come on, like I do have a question though,
Yeah.
because earlier you did mention fan interactions, and I
Yeah.
want to know, is there a certain fan interaction that is the most memorable for you?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. It is the greatest part about it. I give every single person. Something I take very seriously is the experience of me.
Mm.
Even if I could tell you are pissed and that you don't really like me or that there's a weird energy, I'm still gonna give you nothing but grace and light because I know that that has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? I understand that comes from a different place. And my hope is that maybe in your encounter with me, you'll walk away and say, I feel lighter.
Mm.
I always want to make sure that I feel like a safe space for you. Like I tell people all the time, my confidence is not ever to make anybody else feel small. It is instead to make you believe that you are just as confident as me,
Mm.
that it lives inside you, that it is not based off of how big you like. For instance, like even with this, like you think like I'm not like a lot of people would get a podcast interview, like interest or something, and they immediately got to go look at see like, well, how many views they got, or like how many people subscribed. I don't give a shit. I do not care. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we all are just trying to grow and be bigger and to chase our dreams. And it's like, and somebody looked at me at one point and gave me a chance. They didn't need me to be amazing. I mean, granted, I was already going viral, so maybe that's not a little fair. But I don't base what I do off of that. You know what I mean? And so I'm always any fan that comes up to me, I'm like, how can I take care of you in this moment?
Mm.
How can I see you? How can I listen to who you are and what you've been through and how you talk about your own life and how can I empower you? And how can I make sure that when you leave this encounter with me, it meant something?
Mm.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful answer.
I know.
Like every answer that you've given has been
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that comes from intention.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like so many people move through this business, like they know where they want to go, but they don't know why they want to be there.
Mm.
And I think I'm very clear on my why and why I do it. And I think that is a little bit renewed. I think for a long time, the why was because I needed to get out of a situation in a place that wasn't serving me and that was only making me feel small. And I think that's a little bit of why I approach my work now the way that I do. And I think now I've been in a place of being like, well, I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? As far as checking it off. And I'm like a little bit more intentional about uplifting people and taking them to the next level, like I said, and that's why I'm building the Talisman, because I really do believe that that is my purpose, is to kind of save Hollywood, and especially when it comes to Black people, you know what I mean, and Black queer people, of being like, every time I get on a thing and I'm like, even when it comes to interviews like this, like, yeah, I saw the questions and you said the team sent you those questions. No, I sent you those questions. I wrote all those questions.
Okay.
And the reason why I wrote all those questions, it was like, yes, I saw the original questions, but one thing that I've been telling people about interview shows like this, it's like, in a world that there's so much oversaturation, you need to ask the questions that the people want to know answers to. I have a rule that if anybody can Google a question that has already been answered somebody somewhere else, then why would they listen to it here? You know what I mean? So I said, you got to ask the questions that, even if it feels a little intrusive, even if it feels a little nitty gritty, let the talent decide that they don't want to answer the question. Don't decide that for them.
Yeah, it's like every answer that you've given has just been like so beautifully like said and so well thought out.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I'm tickled at you, man. No, the team ain't sending it, baby. I sent it. Come on.
Right. And now that we've like read them, yeah, it makes sense.
It's great. Like, yes, I think questions are great, but I'm always like I tell people, like, when you think of a Wendy Williams, when you think of an Oprah, when you think of these shows that really changed the zeitgeist and were culture defining, is because they were doing what nobody else was doing. They weren't doing what everybody else was. So I'm always like, what is unique about your point of view? What is your identity? What makes you different than the rest? And how do we lean into that?
That's such a...
And shout out to Wendy Williams. We miss her.
Oh, and I feel, I've been on Sherry many times, and I feel really bad for Sherry, because I feel like she was set up. She was dealt cards that were not fair to her.
Yeah.
Especially with her expertise, because people treated her like she didn't know what she was doing. And if anything, she been doing this. She the only talk show on the air that actually really, really wants to be like a talk show host in that way. Like her and Tamron, they want to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody else just feels like you just gave them the job and it just happened to work, but they don't actually want to be talk show host. I just had a conversation with Ricky Lake and Carla Hall about that.
Fair.
I said they just giving the jobs away to people that don't want to do it. And the people just are taking the check, and it's all based off of popularity, but it's not actually about doing it well. It's a lot of just looking good, but not being good. And I don't ever want to be that person.
Period.
Exactly.
I'd rather my shit be good than just look good.
Come on.
Speaking of being good and looking good, tell us about Fox Reality Check.
Yes. When I first started Fox Reality Check, I was just brought in. And so it had other hosts at first. They'd done like 6 seasons. And then they wanted to kind of give it a new life. And so I was brought in, and I was just, as a host, I was just coming in, reading what was on the teleprompter, doing the job. When we ended the season 1, I went to Fox. I said, I would like to have a meeting at Fox. And I said, I would like to rebuild this show from the inside out. I said, and I want executive producer credit. And I said, because this is good, but this is not serving the people. I said, we need to be an extension of the shows. We need to be a gateway. I want people to watch this and be like, I think this shit is so good, it makes me want to go watch the other shows. So like, if you look at season 1 of Fox Reality Check and season 2, they are very different. Season 2 now takes place in a house. And I wanted it to feel like a sitcom. I wanted to take the people that we had on as guests that actually cared about what we were talking about and make them into recurring characters on the show as if they are other characters. And I said, also, I want this to feel like the audience that is watching it. I said, people that are watching these Fox shows are middle America. They are watching this in their living rooms. They are watching it as a family. I said, I want our show to reflect who they are. You know what I mean? It's like how Watch What Happens Live is a clubhouse, because it kind of it matches the audience that watches Bravo. I said, I haven't seen one season of a housewife, but I know everything that's going on with the housewives because of Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
I said, that I know. And I've been a bartender on Watch What Happens Live, So I'm like, I know what that world is. And I think that is where we're moving into. It's like people want to watch shows that feel like they are in the world of whatever their topic is. And it makes sense. They need a little bit more storytelling. They don't want just a stage and two chairs and people talking, but the whole world needs to feel like you're making it an experience. And that's what I said. I want this show to feel like an experience. You know what I mean? So even if you watch it and even if you've never seen one episode of any of the shows that we're talking about, you're still entertained.
Mm. Where does the confidence come from to ask for something like that? Like, people say all the time, like, oh, closed mouths don't get fed, right? But like for a lot of people, especially in a situation like that where like you were invited to be a part of this thing, like where does the confidence, the motivation, the ambition come from to go and say, hey, I'm gonna redo this. Like I need to redo this,
The easiest answer I can give you is God.
Mm.
Everything in my life has because I've been divinely guided. Even with the original food videos, I tell people all the time that was an accident. I
Mm.
said I was just in my room on Facebook scrolling, and a voice said to me, record it. Record your reaction to it. And that very first video went viral. And ever since then, I have listened to everything in my life is so full circle. It's kind of actually scary. Even with me going to NYU, getting my journalism degree. NYU was my dream school as a kid. I applied to every school, but I didn't apply to NYU, even though it was my dream school. I used to have a big old tub of all the college pamphlets that I had gotten, and they were organized by state. Really crazy. I'm a Capricorn doing the most. So the whole being is just by state, and it's all, and New York was always the biggest. The dream was always to be in New York. And I never applied. And at that time I thought it was because I was doubting myself. I said, no, it was God letting me know that it was coming, just not right now. I needed to go to Philly first. I needed to do Temple first. And then then just like the food videos, the sponsor ad comes up for this NYU online master's journalism degree. And I say, I can go to NYU. I can complete that dream that I had as a kid. I said, it's come back around. And the only reason why this has caught my eye is because it was planted into me years ago. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you ask where does the confidence come from, it just comes. And I just listen to it. And what is so funny to me is like it literally is almost as if somebody just pressed the override button to where my brain is not even thinking. I'm just doing at that point. So sometimes now, even when I think about stuff that I've done in my career and I look back and I feel like, how the fuck did I do that? I'm like, what? Like, how did I do that? And it's just like, I was just doing it. I was just like, I just knew that was what I was supposed to do. And even with the moving, like I've moved so many times. Like I was in New York and I was like, jobs started slowing down, money started slowing down. And then I just started to have a voice in my head say, it's time to go back to LA. You've done everything that you needed to do here. The moment I got the week, I got back to LA, I got Fox Reality Check and I got Amazon's Pick Your Prize. I went from not having a job to all of a sudden now the jobs are flowing in because I listened and I was obedient to whatever was speaking inside me and moving me. And even with the management company, like that was another thing that just said, you need to do this. Because I was having so many friends that were calling me and they were like, I got this contract. What should I ask for? Do you think this is right? And I think that's the gift of that I was at Ellen, because the thing about Ellen was that I experienced this industry at the top level. So I know what's possible. I know what the brands can pay you. I know what they can give you. I know what is standard. So you can't come to me and try to give me less than, and you sure as cannot come to anybody I know and try to give them less than they are worth, because I know what is possible. And so I negotiate contracts for friends of mine. I say, don't you sign a thing till you bring it to me. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to ask for and what to demand and how much you should be paid for it.
Hmm.
Walking in there and asking for that, was that the first time that you felt like you had power in the industry, or was there another time?
The Ellen of it all?
No, going in and asking when
Oh,
reality check, going in and asking for it to be different for the second season.
no. No. I think I've just always innately just felt powerful.
Okay.
I don't think it's ever been a case of like I think I just always known what my capabilities are. And I've always let the work speak for itself, you know? So even if a brand has reached out to me and they've asked me to do something, I've always been able to like take that thing and turn it into what's going to serve me the best, you know? Or and me not also saying yes to everything. Sometimes I'll get it, but I never just say no. If it's something that I feel like I'm not a match for, I say no, but I think this person would be great. Or I think you should reach out to this person or have this person. Or and if they don't do that, then I'll text the person. I'll be like, you should have your team reach out to this person for this. I said, I saw this and they told me that they want somebody like this, but I know I wouldn't be good at it, but you would be stellar at it.
Hmm.
That's such a different, I think, way to operate because we know a lot of people that if they're not getting an opportunity, they're not wanting to pass it along. There's a lot of gatekeeping.
No,
It's
that's some
very
bullshit.
it's some bullshit. It's very on brand for you though. Not surprising that that is the way in which you operate just because of how you show up.
Hmm.
It,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think sometimes, and maybe this is because I do love entertainment. Like when I think of like the era of like Harlem Renaissance, right? Or when I think about like black sitcoms, I was like, everybody was fucking winning. It's because they
Yeah.
supported each other and they uplifted each other and they put each other on. I said, I want all of us to win. There's plenty of room. And what's for me is always going to be for me.
come
So
on.
why I'm not competing, you know what I mean? I don't see you as competition. I know who I am. I know what I could do. So if this ain't for me, well, I know, but it's somebody else that could use this job. I'm even like that when it comes to acting self tapes. Like,
Mhm.
people like you can send me a self tape and I'll be like, I don't want to play this role, but I know somebody that does, and I'll reach out to them. I'll say, tell your team that you need to get a self tape for this because you would be good. You would eat this up.
Mm.
And I think also, like, even my friends, like, listen, like I told you, I call all my friends and I'll be like, do you know how powerful you are? Do you know how amazing you are? Or like I don't care how small the accomplishment is. I don't give a damn if you got a certificate at your 9 to 5 for being employee of the month. I am going to give you your credit. That is not for nothing. You kidding me? Like, I think that everybody that exists in this world and the contributions that they give to the world are essential. Like, I do not ever treat a service worker bad in front of me. Yeah, I don't give a damn if it's the trash man. I'm like, do you realize your ass can even walk out here and not have to worry about what you gonna step in because of them?
Mm.
Do
Yeah.
you realize that they are essential in even making your life easier? I tell people I call that the cerulean belt effect. I think that is the most powerful moment of The Devil Wears Prada. When she takes that belt and Anne Hathaway's character laughs and she says, oh, you think this has nothing to do with you? Because that's how people move in this world. You think this has nothing to do with you. And everything is connected.
Yeah. That's such a unique perspective because you hear a lot about that industry and like LA and how cutthroat it can be and competitive and
And it
you're
is.
yeah, and you're competing with your friends and your enemies. Everybody's trying to get the same thing. And so that's really cool to hear that there are people like you that exist in that space.
Yeah, listen, I don't like living in LA for that reason.
Mm.
Like, my problem with LA has nothing to do with the city, it has to do with the people. And that's not LA natives. LA natives are great. When I meet somebody, they like, yeah, I'm from LA. I'm like, thank God. Or if I meet somebody and they from the Midwest, I'm like, thank God. You know what I mean? But it's like when you have people out here that are just chasing fame,
Yeah.
the hunger for fame can make people do some weird things. It has them moving very weird. And the problem with me is I'm confrontational, y'all, if you ain't noticed. So I'm the type of bitch to be like, why the fuck did you do this shit? And what you did was some bullshit.
You know it's some bullshit.
And you knew it was some bullshit. And I'm not playing them games with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very confrontational in that way. And so people also know you can't come over here and play with me.
Yeah.
That's across the board.
Hmm.
And I've been like that my whole life, even as a kid. I used to get in trouble all the time as a kid because even when I was in high school, I ran that goddamn school. I'll never forget. It was my senior year of high school, and they decided that they wanted to change the rules for valedictorian and who would like give a speech because I went to an international baccalaureate school, so everybody was really smart, right? And so they changed the way that because it used to be that you could submit an essay in order to give a speech. It wasn't based off your GPA or grades because everybody was so smart. It was kind of hard to determine who that would be. You know what I mean? I'll never forget I found out that they was gonna get rid of the essay and say that it was only gonna go to somebody that was a valedictorian, no longer you could apply. Oh, I went straight to the principal's office. I said, that won't do. I said, that's not fair for us. I said, at another school, maybe. I said, but we got kids here that are full IB and we got some partial IB and we got some people that don't need the IB. I said, so our grade point averages are all over the place, but that doesn't mean one is smarter than the other. I said, the playing field is not the same here. I said, so we need to keep it to be the same as what it was. And they kept it the same. And I spoke at graduation. So,
Period. And we love when it works out,
Yeah.
actually.
okay. Right.
When
So
a plan, when a plan comes together.
Yeah, don't come here and play with me. Mm-mm.
I am curious, though, because I know we got to get to the game. We got to get to the next part. I get it. With you just saying that you're confrontational and you do address things head on, I feel like in the industry that would have been a really good thing, has helped you in ways. But I'm curious, has there been a time where it was detrimental to anything for you or an opportunity or in relationships?
No, because I think I know how to deliver it.
Okay.
I'm very good at business. I'm very good at being able to get what I want, but doing it in a clean, professional, and respectful way. I'm not making demands, but I'm making sure that whoever I am negotiating with always makes sure that they feel like they're winning.
Okay.
Because that's the key to negotiation. You always want to make the person feel like they're getting something. Because that's all people care about. They just care that they feel like they are getting a win in it. You know what I mean? And so I'm always looking at everything as like, how is each party served for who they are and what they bring to the table? How is everybody respected? You know what I mean? Like, for instance, people know one of my biggest rules, do not try to fly me coach. I'm flying business.
Period.
If I'm flying for work, that sounds like business to me, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Does.
Okay. So I don't give a damn where I'm going. I will be in business because the thing about it, what you're not understanding is usually if I'm flying in, that means I'm working pretty quickly after that. So I need to be as comfortable and rested as possible so that when I land, I can give you everything that I have. But if I'd have been on a flight squeezed in between somebody, kids screaming and a lot going on, the bitch ain't ate, I done got off the flight, had to go straight to the damn set or the damn venue. Now I'm upset because my ass is hungry. We get there, y'all ain't got no damn food because y'all was cheap and y'all didn't spend no money on getting nothing. So now we only got little appetizers. Yeah, I'm probably not going to give my best performance.
Yeah.
You know? But if everything else is taken care of, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I said, we're doing it great. And a lot of that also is not based off of like being a diva, but it's also because I've seen the way that you treat the white people.
Hello.
Because I've seen that they ain't even had to ask.
You just handed it.
You just handed it to them. So you better believe I'm going to ask for every goddamn thing that they fucking get.
Period. As you should.
Because why not?
And I don't give a damn how you feel about it. It's what I require. And if that don't work for you, go get somebody else to do it. I'll get another job and I'll find somebody that do want to give it to me.
Yeah. Hmm.
And will.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
we have talked a lot about your joy and authenticity and the way
Uh-huh.
that you sort of show up in spaces. What, if anything, has success complicated in your life?
Ooh.
Loaded.
You already know. You probably already know the goddamn answer to that. Love, child. My God, today. My God, today. Oh, dating is like, ugh. A lot of people can't handle all this, y'all. I know I'm a lot. Okay, I know that. And these men, a lot of them can't handle it. They can't hold it. They're intimidated by it. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, and listen, and if you hear this, listen. I think he's very sweet. He's very kind. He's
Well,
very
what's his name?
I'm not giving his goddamn name. What the hell? No. But anyway, so I have been working a really long day. I had a photo shoot in the morning. I had hosted an award show afterwards, about 3 hours long. We had just been started dating, and I took him with me as my guest because I always do that because I want to see how you react to me working
Mm.
and me when people are coming up to me and like what that's like. Do you feel threatened by it, or are you okay with me having a little bit of a moment right now? And I like to see how you move in it. Now I want to also preface that the next morning I had a 6 a.m. flight. That man watched me give everything that I had up on that stage hosting. And we got back to the room afterwards, and he said, mind you, it's the middle of the night. We'd already been to the after party. He said, can you take me to the dispensary to get some weed?
Hmm.
Okay, what?
Well,
First of all,
no.
first of all,
Absolutely
first
not.
of all, first of all, do I look like I'm in an episode of Power?
Yeah. Mm.
Do I look like somebody that's gonna take my man in the middle of the night to pick up some weed?
Just ain't
Do
giving it.
it it ain't never gave that. It
Ever.
ain't never gave that. It ain't never gave that. And I'm sitting there like, at no point in your mind did you not say, "Oh my gosh, he's probably so exhausted. Why don't we you know what, even afterwards, Imma make sure he got a plate to eat."
Mm.
My love language is acts of service. You know what I mean? But see, like, that's the kind of stuff that I pay attention to. How are you taking care of me? Because the thing about that is that, and I think this is where people get confused. I don't want you to just be my fan. Because the thing about it, when the tables are turned, I ain't got no problem standing in the back. I ain't got no problem doing what I need to do to support you and not being the center of attention. I don't need to be the center of attention all the time. So it's like if this was the opposite, I don't care if we was at a work conference for you and you was the keynote speaker or whatever. I'm still going to take care of you,
Yeah.
beginning and end. So dating is a little rough. It's a little rough. It's a little hard to navigate, but I don't date. Also, I'm not a type of person that is willing to like just be with somebody just for the sake of being held at night. I run a tight ship over here. You
Period.
know what I mean?
Strict
Like, I'm like,
program.
oh, yes. Oh, yes. Like, it takes one good time for you to show me a major red flag. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. I'm a bye-bye. I wish you the best. Like, it don't take long for me to do that because I am very protective of my energy and my
Mm.
space. And I know that my energy and my space has to be protected in order for me to do the work.
Hmm. So, are you on the market? Because the love of your life might be a subscriber.
And you know what?
You know?
Please. But all I know is if you are, I hope you got some goddamn balls. Do not enter my DM talking about how you wanted to ask me out or how you was nervous. That is not attractive to me. I don't want to hear about your hesitation. If you want me to stand on it and ask me to go somewhere, and if you broke, I'll go to Chili's. I ain't got a problem with a 2 for $20. I don't mind a 2 for $20, y'all. I love a good honey chipotle chicken crisper. Okay? I love that chicken enchilada soup. I love a good large strawberry lemonade. Hell, you want to go to Sonic? I love a good corn dog. I love a Route 44 cherry latte. You don't have to take me to Fogo de Chao. I can take my damn self to Fogo de Chao. Just give me a good goddamn time. Ugh.
Got it. You heard it here. Okay. So if you feel like
There
you're the
are
one,
requirements. There are requirements, but we'll talk about that privately.
if you feel like you're the one, send them a DM. Send us a DM. We'll forward it over.
And do not DM me if you got a goddamn private page. That shit pisses me. That shit pisses me. Why the fuck would you think I'm gonna respond to somebody I can't goddamn see? No, I need to go through the page. I need to look at what your house looking like. I need to see where you live. Is it clean? I need to know if you got a dog. I need to know you got kids. Like, I need to look. I look through the page first. But if it's private, I'm not responding.
What I'm supposed to work with? No,
Right.
Okay. Stranger danger. Stranger danger. Because who you hiding from, bitch? Who you hiding from? You hiding from somebody.
Oh.
Okay. We are going to jump into this game so that we can wrap this up. So this game, Kalen, it is like a rapid fire game.
Okay.
Kalen Allen edition.
Period.
Very, very quick, questions, responses. The first thing that comes to mind is sort of what we're looking for here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What's something about you that would surprise people who think they know you?
I don't like leaving my house. I am not the life of the party.
Hey.
I'm a life of the party when I'm being paid.
Right.
Cool.
But if I'm not, I would rather sit in the corner and be at home.
Okay.
Right.
What's something about the entertainment industry you wish more people were honest about?
The fact that now it doesn't feel like it's entertaining people anymore. That now entertainment feels like it's just trying to reflect what's happening in the real world, and everything is trying to feel like reality TV, and nothing is escapism anymore, and nothing is just like fun and just done to be done. Like, everything has to have this deep, big ass meaning to it.
We lost the whimsy.
Yes. That video of like, y'all need to be more whimsical. Yes.
Okay. Who are you trying to make proud right now?
My adult self.
Yeah.
I think I've already made the younger self. In fact, when I turned 30, it almost felt like I went back to him and said, I have to leave you now. I've done everything. I've made all your dreams come true.
Yeah.
And now I need to leave you because there's a new story I have to write. There's a new life I need to live. And I think now I'm probably thinking, instead of then it was like taking care of the past, I think now I'm nurturing the future. Now I'm looking at, okay, I'm 30 years old. When I turn 40, who do I want to be? What do I want that life to look like? And how do I set myself up for that?
Beautiful answer. Come on, 30 Club.
Right. Right.
It's good to be alive.
Yeah. Look, newly joined, but we in there.
Yeah.
I'm last year. I'm about to.
Yes. Look at that.
Yeah. If everything stopped tomorrow, what would you want to be remembered for?
Joy. And listen, I tell people all the time, and like, knock on wood, but I say the best part about the life that I have lived, that if it did end tomorrow, I would be completely satisfied. I would be completely satisfied. I've even told people, I said, we never know when we may leave this earth, but all I know is my funeral better feel like the way I lived.
Come on.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want none of that crying shit. I don't want you sitting there weeping until tomorrow. I want it to be a party. I want it to be a Sunday. Now, when I say that don't mean roll my ass up there like they do in Atlanta on a goddamn pedestal and have me standing up like a goddamn wax figure. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. But you don't spend no money on no goddamn casket. I hate a cemetery. Don't put me in no box. I want to be a tree. That's what I want to be. Make me into a tree. That feels more meaningful to me. I don't want to be in no box sitting in the ground. Don't you think it's fucking weird when we be driving around the cemetery and there's just a whole bunch of dead fucking bodies there? Whose idea was that shit? Whose idea was a cemetery? No. I want to be that. I want it to be a celebration. I want it to be a concert. I want it to
Ooh,
feel like the way that I lived.
Mm.
okay. Who do you go to when you don't have the answers?
God, who else the hell I'm gonna go to? They probably ain't got the answer either. Shit.
Fair.
I'm gonna go to the one that I don't need the answer for them. I'm gonna go to the one that's just gonna make a way out of no way and it's gonna help me understand in the future why I didn't know the answer then. Hey,
Hey, come on. Come on.
woo! Y'all gonna make me start
Period.
shouting up in here.
Period.
Okay? Why would I need to go to anybody else to try to tell me how to go on a journey that they've never walked?
Hey.
How can I get advice from somebody that doesn't know the calling on my life or where I'm meant to be?
Period.
No.
Mm. Nothing but a word.
Okay.
What is your current pop culture obsession?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh. What is my current pop culture obsession? I am a little obsessed. Like I've comedy is in a really good place right now.
Hmm.
I recently watched The Comeback, which I had auditioned for. I watched The Comeback and I was like, God, this is a brilliant show. And then I just watched The Rise and Fall of Reggie Dinkins, which
Mhm.
is also another great show. It's kind of like a mockumentary show. It's on NBC Peacock. Of course, I think Abbott is an amazing show, and so I'm like, comedy feels so good right now. Like, and then I watch Ghosts on CBS, which is more of a sitcom, and I'm like, this is so funny. And like, I love a good situational comedy. I love situational comedy because it's like, even that's so Raven. I told Raven this too. I said, the thing that's so crazy about situational comedy is that whatever they hurdle is actually really easy to solve, but they just make it so fucking complicated. And I love that shit. Yeah, so that's my most recent. I watch a lot of TV and movies. I'm obsessed.
You
Okay.
know, we do too.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
What's something that you have outgrown?
Fame.
Mm.
I think I know that fame is used as currency in this industry to be able to get better. So I know that it is necessary, but my need for it is not there. You get what I'm saying? And there was a point in time in my life where I wanted it. And I wanted to be on every carpet. I wanted to be in the press. I wanted all that attention. That's not who I am anymore.
Mm.
I just care about doing the work. That's all that I want to do. I just want to work. I just want to get up and do work that makes me feel alive. I don't necessarily need people to feel like the whole world cares about it. I don't need to like walk out my door and the paparazzi are there and people are following me. Like I'll be like, sometimes I meet people, they be like, "You cook for yourself? You don't have a chef?" Or like when I tell people like I don't have a housekeeper and I clean the house for myself, and they be like, Really?" And I'm like, y'all do realize this is just a job, right?
Like,
Like, I go to the same grocery store you go to. I go to the dry cleaners. I do everything the same. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I don't. Also, I'm too much of a control freak to let other people do stuff for me. Are you kidding me? Because I would look at it and be like, yeah, you're not doing it right. I'll just do it myself.
can nobody do it better than you?
Right.
Right. So, like, but I am getting a housekeeper because this place too goddamn big to clean by myself. I'd be tired as hell. I said, no, I can't do this no more.
Sometimes you got to pay for it. Sometimes
Okay, please
Yeah.
every
come in here and do it.
Convenience is worth it sometimes.
Oh, I'm a person of convenience at all times.
Yeah.
I'm a person of convenience. Y'all should see me. I would land in New York and I'd be like, oh, it's an hour to get to Manhattan. Put me on the helicopter. I'll pay the extra money. 7 minutes? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It ain't had shit to do with trying to look fancy. No, I just don't want to be in
Right.
a car for an hour.
Convenience is never too expensive.
I also don't like to be driven anywhere. Anytime you offer me a chauffeur, I'm going to say, no, give me a rental car. I
Mm.
hate being driven. I hate it. I'd rather drive.
Just because? Or it's like motion sickness or something?
Driving is therapeutic to me.
Hmm.
I get to be in the car by myself. No one there. I get to sing to the top of my lungs. I get to just exist in my own little bubble. Nobody's bothering me. I love it. But I also love riding the subway in New York. I love
Mm.
watching people. I love seeing like what I love about New York is how it celebrates individuality. I love being able to see so many people that are so different and just standing there and nobody gives a damn. Like nobody's judging anybody or looking at somebody. Everybody's just like, well, that's just what it is. I love that shit.
Mhm.
To me, New York is what America is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place.
That's what
Yeah.
it feels like. It is the most multicultural, diverse of people, just everybody working together to make that city feel timeless. It feels timeless. When you are there, it doesn't feel like you are in 2026 or anywhere. It just feels like you are living
Yeah,
and just in the day. You're so much more present in New York than anywhere else, in my opinion, for myself.
Mm.
I concur. I second that.
Yeah. We love that city.
I gotta go back.
It's a good time.
What are you still figuring out in real time?
The balance.
Mm.
The balance of playing the game of Hollywood and still maintaining it, and figuring out the approach to how we navigate and how we like, yes, I'm like, yeah, I want to start the talent management AC, but what is the process of that? Like, how do I get it to be successful? How do I bring other people in? And so how do I find the balance also with not working so much, but also having a personal life? So I really, during my sabbatical, really took the time to not do any work and focus on living. So to where I built in like a certain walk path that I walk with the dogs in a certain time and making sure that I spend time with them and not just working all the time. But then also it's like on Saturdays being like, you're not allowed to stay home. You got to go out and you got to adventure and you got to go places and you got to invite people over and you need to start hosting dinner parties and you need to start cultivating community and connecting people so that they can find community out here in LA too, because LA can be very lonely for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I think I'm finding the balance in all that.
Mm.
Beautiful
Love
answer.
that. What truth about your life would people not believe?
Probably my relationship with my mother,
Mm.
which I've talked about. We've had a very complicated relationship, and it is not only till recently that we've really been able to get to a real place of healing. But if you saw me and my mother, and if you've seen us, you would never imagine that it was what it was. There was a whole period of time where I didn't talk to my mother, where I completely cut her off because she wasn't very accepting of me being gay. And it wasn't just that. And I told her this. I said, my problem with you not accepting me being gay was not that you didn't accept, I didn't expect you to. It was that I felt like you took it too far.
Mm.
I
Mm.
said, it was the things that you said to me and the names that you called me, the way that you treated me, that took it too far. And I said, and that's my problem with it. And I said, and then it felt like once I became famous and then she had breast cancer and breast cancer kind of gave her a new lease on life and she saw the world differently. And I said, and it felt like you just came back and thought that you were going to be able to just sit in the work that I had done, that you was just going to be able to come back. And now you got to be a different person and everything from the past just was gone. And I said, and that's not how it works.
Mm.
So I think that's probably I think that's what people would probably be more surprised about, how lonely my success has been. Even when you're talking about Broadway, it's like none of my family came to see me on Broadway.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's like I have a hard time with community and family because I never had it growing up. So it's like even when I was a kid doing shows and doing amazing things, there was never anybody there cheering for me. If anything, they saw it as something like they almost treated it as like it was a bad thing. It was like the more I accomplished, it was like the less they liked me. Because I think because I was a black queer in Kansas, I was not supposed to be that. I was not supposed to achieve all those things. I wasn't supposed to be able to thrive and be so light. I think people wanted me to be destroyed. They wanted me to feel depleted. They wanted me to lose. And I think because I didn't accept that as my destiny or my journey, and I said, no, I'm going to win and I'm going to show you that I can win.
Mm.
Love that.
If you could guest host any show on television right now, what would it be?
Any other talk shows, any of them, throw me in, coach, and I'll turn it
Yeah,
into what it
tag
needs
me
to
in.
be. You know what I mean? Put me in any of them, and I would show up and we would rock it. and we would take it and we would revive talk shows and we would really like, and I think that because of that, I've been able to live in between traditional and digital media. I give a perspective that most people don't have because they haven't experienced it on both sides. Usually it's only one side, you know what I mean? But I live in that hybrid space. So definitely any of the talk shows, throw me in. Let's do it.
Period.
Okay. And then one last question that isn't even really on the list. I kind of just made this up.
Okay.
Um, what would you say to someone who is still trying to figure out how to be themselves in public facing spaces?
That question's for me, actually. No, I'm just
I always tell people confidence is a choice.
Mm,
You have to make a conscious choice to be confident. And you have to realize you have to weigh the pros and the cons, and you have to always realize that the pros outweigh the cons in every scenario. Because it's a lot better to be seen wholly as yourself than to be seen as something that isn't rememberable.
mm,
And every time you walk into the room, every time you make yourself small, every time you go into the little corner, it's just one more chance that you weren't seen.
Hmm.
And that varies depending on who you are. That doesn't mean that you got to go in there and be the center of attention. But what it means is that whatever room you walk into, you make an impact. Like I walk into every room in full Kalen presence. That doesn't mean that I'm in there trying to be the star. That just means that I know that I'm here and I left my house for a reason. So I'm hell, it better be worth it. You know what I mean? Because even if it's not a connection here or somebody can look at me and maybe it's an outfit and they're like, oh, I want to know where that's from. Oh, I love that shoe. I've been looking for a pant like that for so long. Where'd you get that from? I could be like this. And now they feel like their life been a little bit more elevated because they done been able to find them pants that they wanted for so long. You know what I mean? Like something that simple. And I also think that the way this world works is like I always tell people it's like the thing that people have told you make you different from the rest, that's your superpower.
mm.
That's the thing you need to lean into. I said, think about it. When people go to audition for a show on Broadway, right? I said, if you got everybody coming in there singing Defying Gravity the same exact way every single time, why would you cast them? You wouldn't. But if somebody came in there and gave you something new and something fresh that was like, oh, only they can do this, that's the magic.
Yeah.
And I also think about it as, and I've always said this about when it comes to dreams and why I've always fought so hard for my dreams is because I believe that when we don't fight for our dreams and we don't like chase them, they just go to somebody else.
True.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, no, this dream is mine. This belongs to me. And I'm gonna achieve it and I'm gonna run it and I'm gonna chase it and I'm gonna make it come true. Cause you don't get to have this.
You can't have what's mine, period.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow. Kaylin, thank you so much
Ah,
for being here.
so
We
glad.
really cannot thank you enough for being here. It was exactly what we thought it was going to be. Amazing, so much fun. And before we wrap up, um, what is next for Kaylin? What should people be on the lookout for? And where can they find you?
Usually when I'm asked this question, I always have to, my first mind goes to like thinking of projects. And I'm like, okay, well, we got this coming. But I want people to start paying attention to the human that I think they're going to see a little bit more of. I think I have really cracked myself open and become a little bit more real and honest with myself and a little bit more standing in who I am versus who I've been told I needed to be, especially in Hollywood or especially for daytime television. And I think I'm leaning into that a little bit more. And I think you're going to see in the work that I do the way that my approach is now to serve the people a little bit more. So that's what's coming up.
Period.
Okay, we love that. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. It has been a time. It has been a lovely time.
Yes, I had a great
And
time.
as usual, thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Please continue to be well, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hallelujah.
Bye, y'all.